Welcome back to our F1 2020 Ferrari Return to Glory career mode. Today it's the 8th round of the season, the Austrian Grand Prix, and of course I'll be the halfway point then in this medium length season. So after this we will be sort of having a look at what we will be doing after this and in terms of engine upgrades, because obviously I did initially say that we would do engine upgrades in the second half of the season, but we're still not too bad on the engine, so we may well extend that little sort of ban we've put on ourselves there with engine upgrades. We actually can't afford any upgrades at the moment because we've done all of the sort of the basic upgrades for the chassis and the aero. So we're gonna have to fast forward a bit of time now then to get some more weekly resources then, we'll just have to, I guess, not upgrade as often nowadays then, as I think we did get a chassis upgrade on quite recently. Well, that's going to be on the way in the next one, but this is looking very close now then between us, Red Bull and Racing Point. Racing Point really quite up there. Red Bull have barely done anything this season in terms of upgrades, which is a bit surprising. It all seems to be tightening up a bit in terms of like the front of the and the back of the field are becoming a bit tighter, it looked like. But in practice then we're continuing to rack up some resource points then, and we now head then into qualifying, where it's looking very overcast here, but no rain forecast for this weekend from what I could see. So we'll be hoping that obviously there's no surprises then in qualifying in terms of the weather. Into Q1 then we're going to see then hopefully if we can get through comfortably. I should hope so. I usually quite enjoy this track, so I was hoping to do alright here and that we wouldn't have any dramas here then getting through the early parts of qualifying. As we come now at the final corner now then, and to the line, we set a 1 minute 3.7 there then, which isn't too bad. 8th fastest, we could do better than that, but that doesn't matter at this stage, we're through. And we're seeing that Haas are actually making quite a bit of an improvement. Now then, both cars through there to Q2. Kvyat then for the second race running is out in Q1, and the two Alfa Romeos there then on row 9 with the two Williams still at the back, so we're still yet to see some drastic improvements from them. But as I say, the grid is tightening up a little bit from what I saw there. We are going to give it another go then on the medium tyres then in Q2, just to see what kind of lap time we can do here then. As we come out now then of turn 4, we're actually light at the rear there and we've spun off there, so that's not good. So that's tyres rear wind. We'll try and recover.
Are you all right?
Our qualifying is over. Pierre Gasly there has run into the side of us by the looks of things. We've been T-boned as we lost it there down at the corner, just a bit too eager on the throttle, and I thought, I mean, we were sort of in the track a bit, but I would have thought Gasly there could have reacted in time to see us. He was quite way behind us. There were yellow flags starting to come out just there. Big cloud of smoke in front of you, probably a bit of a clue, Pierre. But yeah, he just drives straight into us then. Ricciardo wasn't too far behind him either, and he seemed to be a lot more alert to it there then, staying well out of the way. Picked up a bit of AlphaTauri debris there, but got away with it. And for us, qualifying is over. We're going to be only 15th on the grid then, so that is a dismal day for us then. It really looked like this was, well, I really thought this could have been, a decent one. I thought we could have been comfortably in the top 10 in this race, well, in this qualifying, but no, we've got some more work to do then. We're going to be 15th on the grid then, unless there's any grid penalties. And Pierre Gasly doesn't seem to have got a penalty then for hitting us there, but still, that is bad for us then. We've lost this particular rivalry breakdown then to Sainz, but we're still looking very good then to beat him in this one then, because we only need 2 more points, so we should hopefully get that then in the race. Our acclaim has gone down a little bit there then, unfortunately, but hopefully we can regain it then in the race. As I said, looking dry then all weekend, so it's good. I'm not sure, I think our pace may have been decent either way, but yeah, we've got a lot of work to do then in the race, and we shall now head then into the Austrian Grand Prix.
This is it then, race day in Spielberg for this year's Austrian Grand Prix. The grandstands were a sea of red in 2019 thanks to the commemorative hats in honour of the late great Niki Lauda, who took home victory of course back in 1984. and it's a sellout crowd once again here today. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's talk about the scientist. That was a great podium in the last race, so can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs, so it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Max Verstappen and Stroll, Albon, Sainz, Ricciardo and Lando Norris, Grosjean, Ocon, Kevin Magnussen and Gasly, the scientist, Kvyat, Kimi Raikkonen and Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
The team are predicting it's going to be a one-stop, and interestingly they've decided to put us on soft tyres at the start. Normally starting outside the top 10 you maybe think they go for maybe a bit something different, maybe mediums or hards, but I guess we do have the option to start on fresh soft tyres, so I guess the team are sort of making the most of that now then, and they just want us to just push through the field early on then, I guess, and try and make up as many places as we can. So I guess that is what we're going to have to try and do then today, because we are of course not at all where we want to be then. Leclerc then has put the car 3rd on the grid, so that just shows what it was capable of this weekend. Obviously Leclerc seems to have had a lot more raw pace than us this season, so we may well not have been near him there, but still 15th place is certainly not where we wanted to be, and we've certainly got a lot of work to do now then, as Kvyat there then was very eager to get things going there at the end of the warm-up lap. But nonetheless then, we are now lining up on the grid, and it won't be a very long wait then for the rest of the field to line up, and we'll be underway then very shortly. The lights are coming on now. Away we go, and it's a decent launch then. We've got straight past Gasly then, we're passing Ocon as well then. Magnussen's had a good start in front of us as well then. Around the outside then, the 2 Hasses are wheel to wheel. Magnussen going around Grosjean. We've gone around the outside of Ocon there then. Both of us have actually gained 2 places there then, and we're following the 2 Hasses, but we're actually under pressure here a bit from Ocon. We're going to try and brake nice and late then up the inside of both the Haas drivers, and a bit of a yellow flag comes out there, but Magnussen stays ahead of us. We did actually pass Grosjean before the yellow flag came out there, so we're alright on that one. And we're up in 3 places, so that's exactly what we need to do then, just make up as many places as we could nice and early on here then, and hopefully now we can just get to work then and keep on picking off more places here then. We should be faster than quite a few of these cars then, because obviously our performance chart said that we were around about the same pace as Red Bull and Racing Point now, so the likes of Renault, McLaren, we should be picking off then in this race if we can. Magnussen there then went defensive in turn 1 on lap 2 and really blocked the apex quite well there. It really hurt our momentum, and now Grosjean's having a look at us here, but we're just going to brake as late as we can then into turn 3, and we are, looks like through then. It's a bit closer on the exit, but looks like we've just got enough drive there then, using a bit of overtake to move ourselves up to 11th position. We now see then a replay of the start, and we were quite a way down the field then, but we did have a good launch there then on the grass a little bit as we tried to find a bit of space. In fact, alongside us there, Pierre Gasly ran into the back there of Esteban Ocon and broke quite a chunk of his front wing there. I believe he actually came in at the end of lap 1, and yeah, I'm not surprised there, because well, for the 2nd day in a row then he has broken a front wing on another car. So this has really been a disastrous weekend then for the Frenchman. Our teammate Charles Leclerc though, he had a great start from 3rd, and in fact in turn 1 right around the outside of Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes and up to 2nd place there. So our teammate really going strong, but unfortunately it didn't last too long then, because at the start of lap 2 Bottas did come back to him, and into turn 3 he managed to regain the place there. But still, Leclerc then making a flying start, and we just need to keep on well, doing the same way, just keep on charging this rear field if we can. Then we're on the back then, yet again, surprise surprise, of Lando Norris. I mean, there just seems to be like 3 certainties in life: death, taxes, and us battling with Lando Norris in this career mode series. But hopefully then we've managed to keep it clean in the last few times that we've gone wheel to wheel, so hopefully this will be another time where this happens, because we really can't afford to be getting involved in any instance here. Then it's very close in. He's got DRS in because there's a bit of a train going on here. Right the inside though into turn 4, and we're through then past Lando and up into the points then after just 5.5 laps. So that's good, and hopefully we can keep on picking off these places as the helicopter there flies very low through turn 3. So that was a bit unusual there, but yeah, as I was saying, just a bit of a DRS train there and here, so it's quite hard to get close enough to go for moves, because obviously everyone is getting a bit of a straight line speed boost here, obviously except for the lead car there. We've got a good run now out of turn 1 there then, and through turn 2 we're following closely here to the back of Carlos Sainz. Having a little bit of a luck here then into turn 3, but just not quite close enough, and we stay in 10th place for the time being. We want to be trying to get past as quickly as we can here, then making the most of these fresh soft tyres that we got. So we don't really want to be sitting behind these cars for too long, because, you know, obviously we do have a lot more potential pace here then by the looks of things. We've got a great run in out of turn 1 on lap 9 here then, we're right in the slipstream of Sainz. Meanwhile up in front of us, Ricciardo is passing Alexander Albon then for 7th. We're running outside of Sainz though for 9th, and we're up then into that 9th position as Albon is now coming back then at Ricciardo. And Ricciardo then going defensive. Albon's got back out of it. Can we make the most of that? Not quite. Albon managed to just about cover us there then and stay ahead, but it's all looking very close though. There's also a yellow flag up in front of us, so looks like someone's had an issue up in front. Perez then is out of the race. He was near the front. In fact, everyone's slowed down there for the yellow flags, and we've piled into the back of Alex Albon and broken our front wing there, so we're definitely going to have to pit with that damage then. The new strategy is there for us, what we're going to take, and we see then Norris there passing Sainz and all that there, so the team McLaren's getting very close into the penultimate corner, but Norris getting through. But what on earth was that all about? I've never seen the AI do that when a yellow flag has come out. I mean, I was even thinking, you know, better left off slightly, just in case there's something on the track, but I wasn't expecting literally everyone to just slam on the brakes in the middle of the straight there. But nonetheless then we're changing our front wing. We're going to be way down the field now then. As I said, Gasly broke his front wing on lap 1 and has been in. He is actually going to be in front of us as well now then, so we've got a lot of work to do now then to make up anything in this race, and we're going to be back on track then with the person who put us down the field in the first place, and Pierre Gasly. So we see then everything that went on in that lap. Firstly, Ricciardo passing the person who took his place at Red Bull. Well, not quite actually, but passing a Red Bull driver then, the team that he used to drive for, so that won't have pleased the Red Bull team. And then Sergio Perez there having a bit of an engine failure. Well, not a bit of an engine failure, very much an engine failure, and he is out of the race there. And then this is what happens then. Out of turn 6, everyone just slows right down. I've never seen the AI do that when a yellow flag has come out. I mean, I don't know if I'm just not paying attention. Well, I certainly wasn't paying enough attention here, but I don't know if I'm just not paying attention to it when it happens anywhere else. But I swear I've never seen the AI do that on the Codemasters games that I can remember. So that certainly caught me off guard there. As you saw, I just ran straight into the back of Albon, and yeah, that has really set us back in this race. And this has been just a chaotic weekend for us so far then, and just well, it's been miserable so far. To be fair, we got crashed out in qualifying. We've now crashed in the race and had to make an extra pit stop, but we are now at least repassing Pierre Gasly then, it looks like, and we're back up to 18th place then. That was about for last place, and of course with Perez out of the race there then. And now we're starting to see some cars in the pits then. Ricciardo's in, Sainz is in, so hopefully these quick laps that we've been doing on the soft tyres here then will at least get us back into a somewhat of a decent position for the time being. I mean, we were back pretty much where we were, because we obviously passed Sainz on that lap that we had that instance, so with this we're basically back to where we were. We were a few seconds behind Ricciardo, but obviously we're on quicker tyres now, so really now that we're doing an extra stop. We just have to just push on these tyres. I mean, they'll go the distance. If we could do a one stop, then we'll easily be able to do a two stop then, pushing on these tyres. So it's just going to be push now all the way to the end. We're through past Sainz and we've already taken 2 seconds out of Ricciardo. We've got Grosjean in now then, and I don't think anyone else came in then, the front runners on that lap, but we're up then to 15th. Then we've already caught up to Latifi then, who hasn't pitted yet, so you know, we just got to maintain this pace really as long as we can, then just use all of the tyre available to us then, and in fact that is exactly what we do there, just driving out the corner faster than Latifi. And well, the Williams then has got a good engine in it, so he is putting up a bit of a fight here then down towards turn 4, but we should have this one done then, and we are up to number 14 then, P14 I should say, and yeah, right on the back then of Ricciardo now then onto the pit straight. So I mean, we were behind Ricciardo anyway, so if we can clear him now then on the hard tyres and just keep on pushing on these softs, then we're looking pretty good. We've passed Norris there in the pits. He's just come in for his scheduled stop, so he's quite going to be a few seconds behind us then. We've already pulled out a bit of a gap on Sainz, and now we're passing Ricciardo then for 11th, and yeah, in fact in the next corner we may even well take Giovinazzi here then, as he's very slow down, still on his original set of soft tyres there, which is a bit surprising on lap 15, but we're going to go through then and up to back into the points now then, with some cars still to pit, and we're only a few seconds behind Stroll as well then. Raikkonen is now in, so is Ocon, so there's going to be some place to gain, so is Albon, so we're looking pretty good then. Obviously we're going to stop again in this race, but if we keep on pushing them, we may well be able to make a two-stop work here and get into a decent position. Kvyat comes in, and then Verstappen actually comes in again, so everyone has now pitted once, but Verstappen has now made a second stop, and we are up to 5th position here. So suddenly, if we can maintain a pace, then we're not looking too bad in this race, as we see then Ocon actually came into the pits there and Verstappen not expecting it. These two have history all the way back to F3, and of course that infamous race back in Brazil in 2018 where they collided, and Verstappen's rage will be through the roof then with that one, but I don't think he can really blame Ocon because he was doing the right thing there, taking that line into the pit lane, and Verstappen has very much misjudged that. He had to come in again then for a front wing change, and only seconds later it's another mechanical retirement for him. I believe that's the 3rd one this season, and he was out in Vietnam, he was out in Monaco, and now at Red Bull's home race Verstappen is out again, and with Albon not showing much pace here, this has really not been the home race that team would have wanted. For us though, we're on the back of Lance Stroll here for 4th position, having been through a pits to change of front wing in this race. We're now looking at taking P4 then, and it'll be a Ferrari 3-4, albeit it won't last, but we've pulled out a 5-second gap over Ricciardo. We're 7 seconds clear of Sainz already. Stroll's going defensive, but we've just still got so much better tyres here then, rounding outside, and we're up to P4 then. So obviously we're going to go over to mediums after this, and we will have they'll be a lot newer as well. So yeah, we come in now then for our stop, and it's just going to be a case now then of just how far back down the field we will actually rejoin, and how far back up we will be able to recover to then on those fresh mediums. I do think that we've put ourselves in a good position here though to actually recover something, as Bottas interestingly has gone for a 2-stop here, so he'll have to repass both Stroll and Leclerc then if he wants to retain the Mercedes 1-2 there then. As we see then just how far down the order we're going to come then, where we're going to rejoin, and I was hoping there may be a bit higher than that. We're at 13th then, we're going to have to clear, in fact it's going to be 14th then, because Kvyat goes through as well there then, so we're going to have to clear some cars then that I really wouldn't want to be getting stuck behind here then, but we're going to try and not get stuck behind them if we can then, and just go for the moves as quickly as we can. We take Danny Kvyat there very quickly and move up to 13th position, and before long we're on to the back of a battle then for the final point between what is now 4 Ferrari powered cars now that we've joined in with it then, the 2 Haas drivers and Kimi Raikkonen in the Alfa Romeo there, putting in quite a solid drive considering the Alfa Romeo didn't seem to have much pace at all here then, and in fact into turn 3 a little bit of wheel banging there, but we are through then up to P12, and just the 2 battling Haas drivers now then. separate us from a point in this race, which I still think would be something to cheer about in this race, considering we started 15th and had to make an extra stop. But obviously we're going to try and push and try and get more than that. I think that is still possible because there's still quite a battle going on in front of us. As the two Haas's then start battling, Grosjean goes to cover Magnussen, and that just leaves the door open for us to take the pair of them then. We're straight past both Haas drivers into the points. We're up now then to 10th place in this race, and then just less than 4 seconds behind Esteban Ocon in the Renault. As we see then, Grosjean hasn't scored a point yet this season. He was very much looking to hold on to it there then over his teammate Kevin Magnussen, but that just opened the door then for us to take both of them on the racing line there. Then Magnussen getting very close there to making a move, and so close to contact as well. In fact, they're up towards turn 3, and we just sweat around the outside. So thank you very much. I was at 10th place, and before long, well, yeah, we've closed that gap down then in no time at all to Ocon, and we can still see quite a group up in front of us and still battling. So we're going to line up Ocon then straight away. Then first opportunity that we get, and we're going to be through then up to 9th position in this race. So still quite a few places that are potentially up for grabs here then. As I said, we should be picking off Renaults and McLarens then with our pace, and Albon has looked well off it then this weekend as well. So about, well, it looks like 4 places here then are up for grabs. We could still finish in 5th position in this race, and that would really be something then, with everything that's going on here then. As we see a battle up in front then, with Norris then passing Ricciardo running outside in turn 1. You don't often see passes into turn 1 there, but it looks like Norris has done it, and in fact the other McLaren of Sainz is going to follow him through as well then. Can we take advantage of all of this scrapping? Yes, we can then, because Albon really got caught napping there. I really thought he could have maybe gone for a move there on Ricciardo, because it all bunched up there on the run up to turn 3, but he just left the door wide open, and we just said thank you very much, we'll walk through that one, and we're up then into 8th place. As we see then, not for the first time this season, Ricciardo then just getting beaten up on a little bit here then. I think just he's outperforming the Renault a bit. I think he's getting it higher than it should be, and then obviously as the race progresses he's sort of losing the places to the faster cars. I think that's what's happening, as then we see that in the aftermath of that we also took a place off of Albon then. The Sorrel Main and Red Bull then down to 9th place in this race. As out of the final point then, lap 32, just 4 laps to go then at the end of this one. We've got a good run here on Ricciardo down the pit straight. We're going to back out of it though, because it's hard to pass there. He's locked up there and then nearly drove into the side of us there as we went through the apex to turn 1, but we've taken place then up to P7, and Albon is going to take a place off him as well then. So once again it's just falling apart here for Ricciardo, and we've now just got 2 McLarens then separating us from a top 5 finish here then with 3 laps to go. We're in the slipstream with Sainz. He's also got DRS though just about on his teammate, so we're not going to be quite close enough here then. But out of turn 3, in fact, so much more traction there. We're going to be side by side then on this straight towards turn 4 with DRS. I'm not sure if I think Sainz was just about close enough to get it there to Norris, but we just had more straight line of speed, and through we went then up to 6th position, and yeah, just Norris now then to pass. We're not going to catch Stroll or our teammate, but still with 2 laps to go then we're right on the back now then of Lando Norris. And what a race this has been. We started this race in 15th place. We ran into the back of Alex Albon and had to make an extra shot for a broken front wing, but on the penultimate lap here then we're going to take Lando Norris, and that was candy from a baby there, up to P5, up 10 places from where we started. And wow, this has just been an absolutely wild ride then in this race. We're 6 seconds behind Stroll, so we're not going to be catching him, but this has been, well, I would have been happy to recover any points in this race, but we've recovered 10 as it stands then. In fact, things actually got worse for Norris after that as well then, because on the final lap Sainz also took a place off him as well then into turn 3. So in real life he had some last lap heroics in Austria, but it's been the other way around then in our career mode. But yeah, as I said then, any points would have been good from this race, but we're going to somehow then take 10 from this race. As we come to the line, it's going to be 5th place at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here at Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Lewis Hamilton didn't finish last time out in Canada, but, well, he's straight back on form then, with yet another win then this season. That I believe is his 6th of the season then, out of 8 races so far. Bottas then did pick up another fastest lap, but once again was only 2nd best, and that 2-stop strategy was not enough to get him ahead of his teammate. Leclerc then finally having a good race, and he's had some misfortunes lately, but that's another podium, and I believe that's his 2nd one of the season, so yeah, he's done well there, and it's a very strong team result as well then, with a 3rd and a 5th there. Stroll was 4th then for Racing Point. They could have had a really good, really strong weekend had it not been for Perez's engine failure. Albon there, just summing up Red Bull's weekend, really only an 8th place to show for them, and the 2 Renaults then round out the points with Verstappen and Perez not finishing. Hamilton then opens up his championship lead back out to 39 points. Verstappen then 76 behind now then, and Albon is chasing him down again then. And in fact, we are actually closing as well then, and so is Leclerc then, obviously, with all their scoring points today, so it could well turn into a bit of a battle here for 3rd then, depending on what happens. Stroll has also overtaken both his teammate and also Esteban Ocon there to move up to 8th, so some movement going on then further down the top 10, and looking further down, still some drivers yet to score. In the Constructors, Mercedes opened up their lead to 115 points, so they're absolutely cruising to this. Constructors, we've actually closed in on 2nd place then today, which is not what Red Bull would have wanted at their home race, so hopefully we can keep that going then. And there hasn't been any other changes today then. Still Alfa Romeo then, and Williams yet to get off the mark.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that.
Things looked close between you and your rival for a bit, but you came out on top, didn't you? Do you have any comments about the collisions?
Thank you for your time.
So it's looking like we have won this rivalry then, because we scored 4 points today then to Sainz's 2. We only needed to score 2 points anyway to win. And that's what we've done. I think we need to give ourselves maybe a bit more of a challenging rival there next time, although to be fair, McLaren were looking quite close to our pace when we started this rivalry, so yeah, we'll have to go for someone else next time. It's also now time then to do our contracts. Now, I've not had any experience with doing these yet, so wasn't really sure what to do, so I just went with the medium one and hoped that that was going to be okay, because I don't really know what I was doing here, but it looks like we have been successful then. Obviously, we want to stay with the team, because obviously I kind of ruined the point of this Ferrari Return to Glory career mode. But yeah, we stay on with the team. We're also going to get an engine wear reduction perk there, because I think we're still going to need that. Now then, obviously I said that we were going to start doing engine upgrades then after the halfway point. We've now reached that stage of the season, but obviously I did say that that would depend also on what the performance looked like, and we are still looking pretty good then. I mean, the customer teams have pulled out a bit on us, but we're still ahead of Honda, we're still comfortably ahead of Renault. So I think I'm going to extend this ban on engine upgrades until the end of the season. We're just going to make it season 1, no engine upgrades, but we will start making progress on our durability. We will start doing that, but we won't do actual engine powertrain upgrades. So yeah, it's just going to be durability rather than performance end for the rest of the season, and then season 2 we will finally start upgrading the engine. So yep, that is it then. This has been a very long episode, and it was even longer because of obviously the stuff at the end here, but I hope you enjoyed it then. I thought it was probably the most action-packed race of the season so far, and probably the most action-packed weekend as well. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you next time for the British Grand Prix.